low, mysterious tone. In the heart of West Africa, hidden beneath the ancient shadows of towering rainforests, there once thrived a kingdom unlike any other. A kingdom of unimaginable power, breathtaking artistry, and secrets that have echoed through the centuries. This was the Kingdom of Benin, a realm where kings ruled as divine figures, where bronze told stories of gods and warriors, and where one of Africa's greatest empires rose and fell in fire and blood. This is the story of Benin, told by the voices of those who came before and those who fight to bring their story back home. So let's begin. We begin our tale in the heart of what is today Nigeria. Here, nestled amidst rolling hills and shrouded in the mists of time, the story of Benin began. Long before the kingdom was known by that name, the land was called Igodomagodo, a word that whispers of ancient traditions in a time when rulers walked hand in hand with the heavens. These rulers were known as the Agisos, a term that resonated with the power of rulers of the sky. For centuries, the Agisos oversaw a society deeply rooted in spirituality, where the boundary between the earthly and divine was as thin as the breath of a king. But as the sands of time shifted, the winds of change began to blow. Chaos reared its head, and the once united kingdom fragmented into warring factions. Each domain was ruled by an Oba, meaning king, but soon the title carried less divinity and more division. The kingdom teetered on the edge of oblivion, caught in a whirlwind of conflict and decline. It was at this critical juncture that the Edo people sent a desperate call for help to the kingdom of Ife, then considered the spiritual cradle of the Yoruba people. From Ife, a prince named Iramian set out on a journey to aid the beleaguered Edo. Upon arriving, he confronted the local tyrant who opposed the restoration of order and tradition. Despite the odds stacked against him, Prince Iramian triumphed. Not only did he defeat the tyrant, but he also managed to secure the hand of the tyrant's daughter, a symbol of ultimate victory. This union marked a significant shift, uniting the warring factions under one banner once again. From this alliance, a new era dawned. And when the former tyrant's brother passed the leadership of the central state to him, a new chapter began. He took on the revered title of Yuka I, thus becoming the first Oba of Benin, a lineage that would stretch for over 135 years. Yuka I is remembered as the Oba who rekindled unity, re-established ties with Ife, and set the stage for the future greatness of Benin. As the empire grew, so did its wealth. Alawo, the Great transformed Benin City into a bustling hub of trade. Merchants from distant lands flocked to the city, eager to buy the famous Benin bronzes and other exquisite crafts that the empire had to offer. With each passing year, Benin's coffers swelled, ensuring that its ruler lived in luxury and its citizens prospered. But while trade enriched the kingdom, it was war that made it truly formidable. Uware the Great was a warrior king, leading his armies to countless victories. His military prowess was legendary, striking fear into the hearts of his enemies and ensuring the safety of his people. His conquests became tales whispered around campfires, stories that served to inspire awe and respect. As the empire reached its zenith, Uware the Great turned his attention to architecture, determined to leave a physical imprint of his greatness. He embarked on a series of ambitious construction projects that reshaped the landscape of Benin. Among his most ambitious endeavors was the construction of the Walls of Benin. These massive earthen fortifications stretched for hundreds of miles, encircling the entire city. They weren't just a means of defense, they were a symbol of Benin's power and a testament to the hard work of thousands. Within these protective walls lay the city of Benin, a metropolis that shone like a beacon of civilization. Streets were lined with bustling markets, grand palaces, and ornate temples. The air was filled with the sounds of merchants haggling over goods, artisans hammering away at their craft, and the rhythmic chants of worshippers. Benin City pulsated with life, reflecting the energy of its great king. In the midst of all this grandeur lived Uware the Great. He ruled from a magnificent palace complex, a labyrinth of courtyards, shrines, and residential quarters. Every aspect of his court, from the rituals to the decorations, spoke of his divinity and power. The king's attire alone was a spectacle, adorned with intricate beadwork, ornaments made of precious metals and feathers that symbolized his connection to the spiritual realm. Benin had evolved into a mighty empire, a jewel in the crown of African civilizations. Yet even as the sun shone brightly on Benin, shadows lurked on the horizon. Beyond the protective walls, rivalries simmered, waiting for an opportunity to ignite. And as fate would have it, the seeds of discord were already being sown within the very core of Benin. By the 19th century, the once unified kingdom had fractured into 3 distinct regions. Each section was governed by an Oba, and the harmony that once united them was now replaced by competition and mistrust. Benin was no longer the tightly knit empire it once was, and this internal strife would play a pivotal role in its eventual downfall. Amidst this growing discord, a new threat emerged on the horizon, heralding the end of Benin's glorious reign. The British, driven by their insatiable desire for power and resources, set their sights on African territories, including Benin. Tensions escalated when a British delegation arrived in Benin, ostensibly seeking peaceful relations, but harboring sinister intentions. They demanded exorbitant tribute, attempting to exploit Benin's wealth. When the Oba resisted, the situation took a violent turn. The delegation was attacked and killed, an event that would serve as the catalyst for the destruction of an empire. In response to the killings, the British, fueled by vengeance and greed, assembled a formidable force of soldiers and set out to punish the Oba. On February 1897, they arrived at Benin City, demanding the surrender of the Oba and the execution of those responsible for the killings. When the Oba refused, the British soldiers attacked. The city walls, once symbols of Benin's power, proved no match for the invaders' artillery. They bombarded the city relentlessly, shattering the earthen barriers and breaching the defenses. As the British soldiers stormed through the broken gates, the city descended into chaos. Homes were ransacked, sacred artifacts were desecrated, and the people of Benin suffered unspeakable horrors. The Oba, realizing the gravity of the situation, fled into the bush, abandoning his throne and his people. And with that, the reign of the Obas came to an end. The British, in their quest for total domination, imposed a punitive expedition, looting the city and carrying away priceless artifacts and treasures. Among these were the famed Benin bronzes, masterpieces of art that had once adorned the palaces and temples of Benin, now stolen and scattered across the globe. In the aftermath of the invasion, the British consolidated their control over Benin, subjugating its people and exploiting its resources. The once proud empire was reduced to a colony, its destiny now intertwined with the fortunes of the British Empire. So where are they now? Some of the looted treasures, including parts of the great Benin bronzes, can be found in renowned institutions such as the British Museum in London, the Ethnological Museum in Berlin, and the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. Many pieces are also held by private collectors, some of whom are open to returning the artifacts to Benin. Initiatives like the Edo Museum of West African Art set to open in 2025 aim to repatriate and showcase these treasures, ensuring they are no longer scattered but brought together in one place, telling the story of Benin in their own narrative. However, the efforts to reclaim these bronzes extend beyond museum walls. Scholars, activists, and politicians continue to demand the return of these artifacts, arguing that they are an integral part of Benin's cultural heritage that should be returned to their rightful owners. Movements like #ReturnOurStolenLegacy amplify these calls, urging European institutions to acknowledge the unjust acquisition of these bronzes and to take steps towards restitution. Benin's story serves as a stark reminder of the complexities of colonialism's legacy. While the theft of its treasures disrupted the continuity of Benin's cultural heritage, the global dispersal of these objects has also presented an opportunity for wider recognition of Benin's artistic brilliance and historical significance. As Benin continues to advocate for the return of its stolen legacy, the hope is that these artifacts will one day be reunited, allowing Benin's story to be told in its entirety. The Kingdom of Benin, with its rich history, vibrant culture, and contributions to human civilization, deserves to have its legacy whole and complete. The ongoing efforts to recover the Benin bronzes and other stolen artifacts are not just about retrieving material possessions. They are about reclaiming a stolen identity and ensuring that the true story of Benin is told and celebrated in its entirety. If you enjoyed this journey into the forgotten empire, don't forget to subscribe for more untold stories of history, mystery, and power, here on FactSphere, where the past speaks. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the forgotten empire. If you enjoyed this adventure, don't forget to subscribe for more captivating stories of history, mystery, and discovery. Until next time, keep exploring and stay curious.